Being rich does not automatically make you a good rapper. And for NFL players, who continue to sign some of the biggest contracts in pro sports, this realization often hits them the hardest.
Could y'all please get that out my ear? Get it out my ear! Yes, I'm screaming at my producers. Did you hear how that man sound? You don't keep something like that in somebody's ear!
From songs so bad that they're literally painful to listen to others that blew up off viral memes, and because your dad actually forced your school to play it after each touchdown, to then some players that try to pretend their raps no longer exist.
You're my favorite rapper. Is there any plans for a seventh clue?
As we're about to see, countless NFL stars have tried to turn football fame into a successful rap career. However, nearly every single one ends up like this.
Listen to our music, ladies and gents. We're getting ready to kick it. Here's 60 Cent.
You like that, huh? Pretty strong. Sorry about that.
First of all, when I saw that, I just saw a picture of that first, right? I was like, is this really how Eli dressed, like off the field? Like this how he dressed on his off time for real?
Back in 2022, on a special episode of his Eli's Extra show, Super Bowl champ Eli Manning linked up with Brooklyn drill rapper Fabio Foreign in New York, and surprisingly hopped in the booth for a collab.
Alright guys, so I think Fabio's waiting for you in the studio. Can't go in like that. What's up with these vests? What's going on?
What do you mean? The vest.
You look like you want to go to golf club.
Yes, exactly. We need some like rapping one-on-one right here.
You know what I'm saying? First of all, I can tell you I got some drip. You got some swag already. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's going to just feel better.
I do feel better. This is cold.
I feel
It's a lot of ice. It's a lot of ice around my neck.
Titled Giants on 3 featuring Eli Manning. While I think about all of us had the same reaction as Lil Wayne did after hearing Eli over a drill beat and showing up to the studio dressed like Curious George's dad. It turns out though, unfortunately, this would not be Eli's last attempt to rhyme.
Here we go. Are you ready?
Go ahead, Ephesians.
I'm Eli Manning. I'm nice. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Sight! I beat him twice! Hold me back!
Facing off against legendary battle rapper Super Hot Fire, although both of his raps have simply been for fun and for content, Eli Manning is not the only Pro Bowler turned broadcaster who has ever hopped on the beat. Yet, he is the only one who will still acknowledge it. Prior to his 14-year record-setting career as a top tight end in the NFL, Greg Olsen played at Miami. And thanks to the 7th Floor Crew, as it was titled, a now infamous rap song recorded with his old college roommates, in 2005, Greg gained himself a new nickname that will follow him forever.
Greg Olsen was a part of that clique, and he was Greg with his third leg. What's your name? G-Reg. What you do? Get how you drop my drawers and let us see my third leg.
Sounded like a good idea at the time. It sounded like harmless fun.
I'm a then I bust a quick on the face, on the chest, stick my between the.
You're a young kid, you're looking to fit into the group, and you're looking to make those relationships. Just another guy gets added, another guy gets added, another guy gets added.
Containing a total of 29 F-bombs plus 18 uses of the B-word throughout the 9-minute track, in addition to plenty of other explicit lyrics such as this line in Greg Olsen's verse, G-Reg. Like you could guess, and as literally any school would, the University of Miami was pissed the moment they heard this rap.
The University of Miami is apologizing for a profane, truly explicit rap song made by several football players.
Along with apologizing and landing the school in controversial headlines for weeks, today, if you ask Greg Olsen though, he refuses to address the 7th Floor Crew.
You're my favorite rapper. Is there any plans for a seventh clue?
According to rumors, one of the only stipulations to Greg appearing weekly here on Barstool's Wake Up Barstool podcast was that they don't ask or mention anything about him as a rapper. Clearly, Greg Olsen wants us to forget, but for most players turned artists, it's the total opposite. So, what better place to start than the most iconic rap song in NFL history? Long before social media and smartphones ever existed, and before athletes thought much about branding themselves off the field, back in 1985, the Chicago Bears accidentally created the NFL's first hit song.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you.
Well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making more mans.
I'm the punky QB known as McMahon. When I hit the turf, I've got no plan.
Titled the Super Bowl Shuffle, very few moments in sports have left a more lasting mark on pop culture than this one. And as we're about to see, the Bears are to blame for the endless, pathetic attempts that followed. but featuring over 20 Chicago Bears players dressed in their uniform for the video, which now looking back is pretty cringe, complete with a female referee who blows her whistle each time the players cuss.
Some guys are jealous of my style and class, that's why some end up on that. I didn't come here.
However, you may notice something stick out as we watch this video. Star running back right here, Walter Payton, number 34, looks like he was obviously edited in later with a green screen. And it turns out he was. Why? Because this happened.
So here's what happened.
Yes.
So it was the Monday night game against Miami, the only game we lost.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the airport. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. We're flying back after it. And there's a group of us going, dude, come on now. We just got beat. We're going to land at 5:30 in the morning and we got to go straight downtown to a studio. So if you really look at the Super Bowl Shuffle, there were several guys that had to be blue screened in. Yeah. I mean, Walter Payton was, Mike Singletary was, and so a group of us aren't in it.
Okay, let's have a rehearsal for words now, okay?
I didn't get it in the house. Like a temptation.
Despite naming their team song the Super Bowl Shuffle and basically guaranteeing a trophy in the lyrics, the truth is the Bears actually recorded this song in the middle of the season, 7 weeks before the Super Bowl took place. Typically, if we judge off past history, it can often be bad karma when an athlete goes on record and boasts about something they haven't achieved yet.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
Seattle has won the toss. We won the ball, we're going to score.
Hasselbeck was partly right. One of his passes did lead to a score.
The pass is picked off. Intercepted. Back the other way. The Green Bay Packers advance.
Don't get me wrong, it's one thing to have confidence, but to name your song the Super Bowl Shuffle halfway through the season was a risk we haven't seen since, and might not ever. To make the situation more difficult though, the shoot for the Bears' iconic video was scheduled for the morning after their game versus the Dolphins, a game they would go on to lose to Dan Marino, the Bears' first loss of the season.
It just was one of those nights where you couldn't imagine that we could play that bad.
It was no luck. We got our tails kicked that night on national television.
For this reason, players such as Walter Payton missed that initial shoot, while others opted out entirely. However, led by coach Mike Ditka, to save their franchise from never-ending jokes, the 1985 Bears did indeed go on to win Super Bowl 20, en route to one of the greatest seasons in NFL history. Thank God we won, huh? Their quarterback said.
The Honey Bears are whooping it up with the crowd, and they're doing the Super Bowl Shuffle, and it's just an incredible sight.
It was amazing to actually see it at the Super Bowl. We had said that this is what's going to happen. It was unbelievable.
Will they be doing the Super Bowl Shuffle in Chicago tonight? I'm sure they will.
The Super Bowl Shuffle went on to both chart at number 41 on Billboard and even get nominated for a Grammy. The team lost the award to Prince, but Chicago still remains the only team in any professional sport to have a Hot 100 hit and a Grammy nomination. Not to mention, the Bears also donated more than $300,000 of the song's profit to local families in need.
I'm basically here because of what it's all about. A large portion of this is going to go to needful people that are going to receive money from this thing as a benefit, and they're going to be clothed and going to be sheltered, and that's the biggest thing, the biggest reason I'm here.
Even if you weren't a fan of the team, the Super Bowl Shuffle was a mainstream phenomenon and pushed both the Chicago Bears and hip-hop into the global spotlight. Yet, while no NFL squad has come close to this musical success in 40 years, considering that current Bears QB, Caleb Williams, is now like best friends with fellow Chicago native Cole Bennett.
You're going to first spot, and
then what? Then what?
Could this mean that we might possibly see a Super Bowl Shuffle Part 2 in the future with the Lyrical Lemonade music video? I guess we'll have to wait. However, what you may not know is the Seahawks actually kicked this trend off first. 4 months prior to the Super Bowl Shuffle taking over the world, in 1985, the Seattle Seahawks quietly released their own team anthem. The Blue Wave is on a roll, and rather than the usual hip-hop track, Seattle's song sounded like this.
What's going on in here, man? Everything's gonna be all right. I know it was a tough day out there and everything, but we're gonna make it this year. We're gonna work hard this year, and the Blue Wave is gonna be rolling, baby. Ooh. The work is tough and the days are long. I've been working out and getting strong.
With a music video filmed in a locker room, the Seahawks had many of the same ingredients we'd see from Chicago. Players performing in uniform, super awkward lyrics, and a lot of forced swagger. So, while it's lesser known that the Seahawks were actually the first sports team to have their own song, with the Grammy-nominated success of the Chicago Bears, this then inspired one of the worst trends that either hip-hop or the NFL has ever seen. Following the Super Bowl Shuffle's worldwide fame, nearly every team in the league then tried releasing music of their own. In the late 80s, as the New York Times states, recording studios would welcome any singer just as long as they also played in the NFL. From the Los Angeles Rams song I just played, which, titled Ram It, is filled with countless obvious implications that I doubt the commissioner was happy to hear.
If you throw it my way, it's gonna get rough. I like to ram it, as you can see. Nobody likes ramming any more than me.
But under this cool is a quarterback mistreater. I come from the end, looking for the sack. I don't stop coming till I put him on the back.
Call me Herc and I came to play. I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night.
Then there was the Oakland Raiders, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Eagles, the Dolphins, who released their own version of Can't Touch This, remixing MC Hammer's classic, as well as the San Francisco 49ers, among others, with the 49ers rap featuring a verse by all-time great Jerry Rice.
Hello, my name is Jerry Rice. Please don't try to glove me cause you paid a price. I move so fast, I'll give you a buzz. You be thinking that you're next to me. Thought you won.
My daughter sent this to me, Jerry Rice typed as his old rap resurfaced in 2019. Hashtag what was I thinking? But the Hall of Famer was far from alone. In fact, so many players started getting into rap at that point that the National Football League even put out their own compilation album in 1996, that for each song paired an NFL star next to a real rapper, such as we can see from the tracklist, matching Ghostface Killah with a Jaguars wide receiver. Titled NFL Jams, this album was pretty forgettable, and it was instead this other project called NFL Country, following the same formula but with NFL players next to country stars, like Brett Favre on the intro, or Toby Keith and Troy Aikman's collab track 2, released on the same day as NFL Jams. The NFL Country album was much better received, and actually cracked the top country charts.
There's a sweet thing up in Denver who'll surely treat you right. I've got a big game with the Skins here Monday night.
This was no doubt an interesting era for the NFL. Thankfully, these collab albums were only a one-time experimental thing, as the league did away with them after that. Well, at least for about 25 years, until a brand new generation of NFL stars wanted to rap. In 2017, for the first time in history, hip-hop surpassed rock and became the #1 genre in the world, a drastic difference to back when the Super Bowl Shuffle came out. Thus, with rap bigger than ever and so many players interested, the NFL couldn't help but take notice. So, 3 years ago, Interscope Records announced their first partnership with the NFL, where they held a legit career day for players, forced to limit the group to 20 past and current faces, all seen here, including DK Metcalf. Players apparently learned various aspects of the music industry, from marketing and A&R to producing and signing talent. However, none were more interested than Darren Waller.
Playing defense, trying to draw up a scheme for me. What you mean I ain't the one? Every time I ran a route, they had the whole team on me. They was hating till I dropped the gotta act.
4 years ago, this guy Darren Waller signed his new contract to become the highest paid tight end in the NFL. But yet, he still couldn't give up his other passion. I'm an artist and a producer myself, and I want to know more about how to market and how to apply it on my own journey, Waller said about his career day at Interscope.
Strange things tight ends normally don't do. Right. And your ability to be a musician and come up with these great beats and these lyrics.
In addition to a debut album in 2017 under the stage name D-Wall, currently playing for the Dolphins, it was instead Darren Waller's 2024 single titled Who Knew, which landed him in viral headlines, just for all the wrong reasons.
New York Giants tight end Darren Waller, he dropped a music video, y'all, about his divorce from two-time WNBA champion Kelsey Plum. Could y'all please get that out my ear? Get it out my ear! Yes, I'm screaming at my producers. Did you hear how that man sound? You don't keep something like that in somebody's ear. Somebody's got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, that shit was so bad, that might be why she left.
Following Waller's divorce from WNBA star Kelsey Plum only 13 months into marriage, his next move was to release this cringe song and music video featuring an actress who looked like his ex-wife. However, we'd continue to hear him on the mic. Over 25 years since the last NFL Jams album, with some help from Interscope Records, 5 active players including Darren Waller, Ray Ray McLeod, and Melvin Ingram would join together for an official 6-track EP titled Crowd Control.
It's a sweet, what? it's a sweep. Acting like we ain't the ones, man, talk is cheap. Yeah, boy.
This single called Sweep, along with all the other tracks from this project, even got added into Madden 24, blessing fans' ears as they play, and marking the first time that music made by NFL players had appeared in the legendary video game franchise over its 35-year history. And really, when you think about it, the first time in a while, the league acknowledged a player's song. But with that said, only 1 year later, a new wannabe rap star entered the league.
I'm who they've been looking for. Appreciate it.
When Shedeur Sanders decided to release his debut rap single, Perfect Timin', it truly was perfect timin'. Choosing this cover art flexing his iced out wrist, released during the months when he and his dad/head coach dominated college football headlines at Colorado, combined with him performing the song here on stage for the Buffalo spring game concert. Aside from, of course, constantly in rotation during warm-ups each game, according to reports, Deion Sanders even went as far as to ban the University of Colorado band from playing the school's fight song after Shedeur scored touchdowns, so that instead the stadium could play Perfect Timing over the loudspeakers. Which, speaking of his dad though, Deion Sanders also had a brief music career of his own. His debut album Primetime came out in 1994 and was distributed via Capitol, including Deion's track called Must Be the Money. Despite terrible reviews, Deion Sanders' album was able to reach the top R&B and hip-hop charts, plus landed him a performance on SNL. Yet, that was basically where his music making stopped, and as it appears, now his son might be done too. After Perfect Timing served as the theme song to his final year at Colorado, it was actually during a workout here with fellow draft prospect Cam Ward when the fellow QB said something that caught Shedeur off guard.
He hopping on Perfect Timing.
Come on, bro, let's make a song. Let's drop one, Richie. I play football. Here we go. I play football. You ain't got no hobbies outside of that? I play football. That's the only thing I want people to know me as, football players. When they search up Cam Ward, let me say American football.
Clearly much more focused on his on-field talent than bars in the booth. As it played out, Cam Ward would go on to be drafted with the #1 overall pick in the same draft class as Shedeur Sanders. The same draft that, although projected a first-round pick, watched Shedeur slip all the way down to the 5th round, leading to him then claiming this on a live stream.
You gonna give us another performance? Aw. He said he's not rapping no more, Chad. He's just focusing on football now. Dang, bro, you can't rap no more.
I just want a ball, bro. I just want a ball.
Whether he is really done rapping or not is yet to be seen, but one thing is for sure. Shedeur's debut song and his Perfect Timing pose will now follow him everywhere he goes. From references by the NFL themselves, national broadcasts playing snippets, or even opposing defenses who now resort to this celebration each time they sack him.
And Shedeur with a 14-point lead coming back in. 9:20 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Pressure coming off the edge. Sanders in trouble, and he is dropped. Ball came out late. It was Kyle Hamilton who has the sack.
Honestly, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you probably hope that Shedeur is done rapping like he says. Not just so he can potentially be the Browns' first franchise quarterback in decades, but more importantly, so he doesn't end up like Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Kadarius Toney, or Cole Beasley.
Now, Cole's ready to challenge an entire new group of critics in the music industry.
Nobody told me I could. Everybody told me I couldn't. So, and that just motivated me and drove me. It's pretty much impossible for an athlete to succeed in both music and football.
Looking at this group of 4 former players, they all have 2 exact things in common. First, each used to be stars at their respective positions. However, second, they're all currently falling to new lows while attempting to use rap to save them.
Antonio Brown, that's Antonio Brown without his uniform, we are told, without his jersey.
Trying to convince him to keep them on. Obviously, they were unable to do so. He tossed his shoulder pads, stripped off his shirt and glove, threw those into the crowd, then ran across the field while the teams were still on the field, giving the crowd a peace out sign.
After certifying himself in the stat book as one of the best wide receivers, it was this on-field explosion though versus the New York Jets in 2022, which would mark Antonio Brown's last day in the NFL. Yet, only hours after he literally walked away from his football career, AB did this.
I'm from the pit, not the palace. I'm kinda stylish, lifestyle lavish. Jump in the coupe with no mileage.
Hours after throwing his pads off, Antonio Brown attempted to capitalize on his virality and announced the release of his brand new rap single, Pit Not the Palace. Obviously a pre-recorded track he had in the vault, as Brown had first started releasing music under the name AB in 2020 with his song Whole Lotta Money. But besides a brief run next to Kanye West during the Donda 2 era,
how'd you link up with Kanye?
Man, he was looking for me right when I walked off the field.
Really?
Yeah, calling me in New York like, yo, Kanye wanna meet you.
Today, the only time we hear about Antonio Brown is when he is in negative headlines, such as streaming with Jack Doherty, or somehow even worse, now facing up to 25 years in prison for attempted murder. Although not that bad, AB's former Steelers teammate Le'Veon Bell has also seen a pretty painful fall from the top. Le'Veon Bell began rapping back in 2017 with an album on SoundCloud under the rap name Juice, slathering his vocals in autotune, and often choosing your most basic trap-type beats.
Bitches, I got them addicted. I gotta watch my back knowing they wicked, yeah.
Following multiple projects, as well as buying a feature from mainstream artist Lil Durk, plus a diss track aimed at Skip Bayless, titled Shrimp Bayless, Bell's time as a superstar running back was cut short, as after multiple contract disputes and injuries, today, here in 2026, Le'Veon Bell is a distant memory, now left calling out Jake Paul for any clout he can scrape, while in the meantime trying to prove himself in the ring and knocking out fellow former running backs like Adrian Peterson.
Not only in
Down goes Peterson!
To continue this trend of young stars who never played long enough to reach their full potential, of course we have to mention Cringiest Tony, aka Young Joker. With a total of 6 full rap projects under his belt, including the latest Warrior for Life, as soon as Tony was drafted though in 2021 in the first round by the New York Giants, questions immediately swirled regarding his off-field commitments, and if he was 100% focused on football.
Cringiest, listen, I gotta ask you because you're about to blow up. I see Joker right here, all right? That's your rap name?
This is my music. I make music on like basically just a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Just something I do. I enjoy doing, so I got a passion for it, but it don't really compare to football at all.
Claiming that it was simply a hobby, again, this still didn't stop many fans from thinking Cringiest Tony was more interested in music. In 2022, he was traded to the Chiefs for a fresh start, where he would go on to win 2 Super Bowl rings and find the end zone in Super Bowl 57.
Quick throw. Tony's got it. Tony walks in. Touchdown, Kansas City!
Also setting the record for longest punt return in Super Bowl history. Unfortunately, due to struggles over the next year, including infamously posting he was actually not injured, and the Chiefs were lying about why he wasn't playing anymore, in 2024, Tony was released by Kansas City, and at 26 years old, he currently sits as a free agent. But if you ask fans, Cringiest Tony quit football to be a Gunna clone.
Going all in cause I got something to prove. When I walk in, got a nail on the shoe.
Another player-turned artist who relies on swimming and heavy autotune. While at least Young Joker can flow and doesn't sound insanely corny, that is not the case for Cole Beasley's latest single.
Most times wanna be alone, sometimes wish I had my friends, sometimes I don't wanna think, sometimes.
Opting to wear his Buffalo Bills hoodie for the music video, former Bills and Cowboys wide receiver Cole Beasley has been rapping since 2017. But to be honest, I really think he's been getting worse. In 2019, Cole Beasley decided to release his own remix to Post Malone's hit Wow on his YouTube channel. And surprisingly, his verse doesn't make you instantly laugh, or as some of you might also remember, when the wideout left the NFL world in shock after flowing over the next episode.
Go beat, let's my flow is pure gold, it's cold back on the microphone, suck the life up out of a beat, like it's lipo, thought I was gone, but I'm never leaving, I'm forever eating.
Just like his music career went downhill though, thanks to a public beef with both Mark Cuban and then his own teammates, Cole Beasley kinda went off the rails during the pandemic, so much so that his incredible hands couldn't even hold him a contract. But besides these players, plus more that I'm probably forgetting, make sure to let me know down in the comments, there have been a few other random releases over the NFL's history, some much better than others.
Ask Philly, was it hard trying to stop T.O.? He the main reason that the fans would come forward.
In 2006, rather than waiting for his first interview, instead Terrell Owens released his single, which heard him brag about his new contract with the Cowboys. Former stud receiver Deshaun Jackson made headlines for his rap collab in 2013 featuring Snoop Dogg, while current Bears safety CJ Garner-Johnson is still putting out tracks on YouTube to this day under the name CD. But for anyone doubting him, he made sure to clarify on Twitter he is still focused on football. While in the case of former 4th overall pick Anthony Richardson, it appears that AR's 2022 feature verse and music video at this gas station, wearing an iced out number 15 chain and the classic Thrasher shirt.
The gang talking to me sounding like some activists. Talk to him every day, they tell me that I'm talented. If I cry after I lose, that mean I'm passionate. Sometimes I feel like you ain't really want no dealings. Used to be sad, then I turned into a villain.
I know that the other players are not trying to listen to that to warm up, the top comment jokes. But coming from a Colts fan myself, unless Anthony Richardson is able to learn how to actually read a defense and make the simple, easy throws, he may have to revisit his rap career in the near future. At the end of the day, while football fame might get you in the booth, it will definitely not keep you there without real talent. And the internet always lets you know if you don't have it.